So today we're going to be working in text and perspective specifically. So coming in here to new document, I'm going to hit on social, but you can click on any of these to be honest with you. Just go in here and make it 500 pixels. So we're going to make it width 500 and height 500. So we have a 500 by 500. It'll give us an artboard of 500 pixels by 500 pixels. Once you're in here, if you ever cannot find your toolbar or such, go under Windows. You'll find toolbars and toolboxes and such in here. If you can never find a specific tool, either click on the three dots right here and you can find it here. Or, for instance, I need this tool today, and if I click on this, I can also change it to this tool right here, which pulls this up. So any of these boxes that have these little triangles in the corners, that means there's another tool underneath. You just basically click and hold it, and then you can see the other tool underneath. So from here, what I'm going to do, this is my perspective box. This is what we'll be working with today. I'm actually going to zoom out of this a little bit, just to make sure that we can see the entire thing. Let me do one more here. Click off this. So this is what we're going to be working with. And basically, these are your vanishing points. This is your horizon line where the sky meets the earth and the sky meets the sea. So our eye line or horizon line have the vanishing points. So these lines here that would be perspective in real life, that would be parallel, converge back to the vanishing point. So anything on this side of the building would converge back to this point. Anything on this side will converge back to this point. So what we're going to do is going to play around with this. First thing, this is very important, this little widget. If you don't see that, just basically double click on the grid, perspective grid. This dialog box will come up. This has to be checked. You can change the location of the widget, but I'm going to leave mine at the top left. So click OK. The thing with this is if you click on the right hand side here, it activates the orange side of this cube. If I click on the left hand side there, it activates the blue. If I click on the white, it activates the ground. So to put things on the ground if I want to. So I'm going to work on the left hand side right now, on the blue side, so that is activated. If I now go to my text tool and I can type in text, and you'll see a dialog box come up here. I'm going to all cap, I'm going to type in MVP. Now that's pretty small, so if I double click on it, I can select it and I can change the size of it here. So 72 points is actually the equivalent of 1 inch. We want a nice big beefy font, so I want to make sure that I'm not using anything that's slender like this, because it's not really going to work for what we're trying to do today. So find a sans serif font that is big and thick and chunky, and that will work well for us. So I could take this now, click on the bottom corner, and I can squash it, condense it, whatever I want to do. But if I hold the shift key down, it'll maintain the perspective of it, the proportions rather. So I do want to stretch that a little bit, and I just want to kind of stretch it a little bit this way. So what I'm going to do here is move my text out to the side, out the way, and I'm going to come up to here to my rectangle tool. Take my rectangle tool and basically click on the top of the grid and pull that down so it fills this side. Now that happens to be black. If I want to change my text, I want to change that now. So I'm going to click on my text, double click on the fill button and select the color that you like. Click OK. If you're going to put a stroke to the text, now's the time to do it. So if I click on the stroke here, I can click on black, and then I can change the thickness of my stroke. I can make it thicker, I can make it thinner. I'm just going to go down to a 0.75 for this one. Okay, and once I've got that done, I click on the text here, and basically what I'm going to do is change from this perspective grid to this perspective selection tool. I have to have that selection tool highlighted to do the next stage. Oops. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to drop it inside the box that I just drew, and it drops it into perspective nicely for me. Click on the corner here and I can stretch it and it'll maintain the perspective. Now if I click off this, you'll see the blue lines. it's there, but if I delete the rectangle, it sticks to the side without the black background. Now, if you wanted to keep the black background and change the color of the text, you could fill it if you wanted to do that way. So, in order to do the other side, I have to go to this widget and click on the right-hand side. I'm going to click on the right-hand side of my widget, and nothing's happening because I am on this tool here, the selection tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back to the perspective grid, and now that will allow me to click on the side here, and this turns orange. Again, I go through the process here. I take a rectangle, I click and I drag, and then I can put in more text, and I can change the thickness of this and the height of this and whatever I need to make it look right. That would be about good there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the color of it the same. So if I double click on my fill, I'll have my control color box come up. I'll have a little eyedropper here. I click on that, it'll give me the same color. It should give me the same color. It's not. So, 1 second. So again, if I double click on the fill button here, I have this eyedropper. I can take the eyedropper and select colors based off what I see here. And since this is a cube, I'm going to have a light source coming from one side, and one side will be light, one side will be dark. So I'm going to change my colors just slightly to give it a three-dimensional look. And then from here, what I'm going to do is go back to my perspective grid, make sure I'm on the perspective selection tool. And then from there, just drag this into the side, hold it in the corner, and then just drag this down to fill up the space. So that's pretty much that. As I say, if you wanted to leave the black background, that's up to you, depending on what you're trying to create. But I'm going to just delete this here. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. A couple of other things you need to know is if I click on the perspective tool here, and I can move the lines in and out here. I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to distort what I've got done here. But I can open this up. Okay, I can open up the perspective of this grid here. Of course, I've already put my text in, so it's going to mess it up, but I could have done that sooner. And I could change the perspective of the grid. So there's one side, the other one will do the other side. So you can change the perspective of this. You can flip it out the other side if you wanted to. So that's pretty handy to have. And then of course this bottom one here will change the perspective going up to the horizon line. So you can have it above your horizon line, below your horizon line, whatever you're trying to create. But do that before you actually start putting your text in. The only thing I would do now is save this as a PNG and take it to the next project. Just give you a quick idea of what sort of things we're using this for. This is a project we did the other day. So you can see the text in the background. You can use the three-dimensional extruded text as well if you need to.